Good afternoon, collectors. It's been a while since we visited, but welcome to Department 56's showroom. As you can see, we're back in our showroom. Welcome to 2020. It sounds kind of funny to be saying that. I've heard it been referred to as the Roaring 20s. I kind of like that since not many of us were around in the Roaring 1920s. It might be kind of fun to have Roaring 20s this decade. Okay, so we're going to take you on a little tour of the showroom. We've been gone from the showroom for, I think it was the last 3 or 4 Facebook Lives. We couldn't be in here because our showroom was being set. Our display expert, Stefan Pepin, came in early November to redo all of our displays. And I'd like to take you on a little tour. I don't think we've done this before. Have we, Nate? I don't think so. So what Nate is going to do as I'm talking about pieces, he's going to show you the display and try to zero in on it for us. And we'll start right over here with Snow Village. Now, if you're going to our website, click on the villages and anything marked coming soon, you'll see a little black banner on the piece, and that will be new for 2020. It will be a couple of months, of course, before these actually hit the stores. The stores are just now going to market or having their sales reps call on them to place orders. So it will be a minimum of maybe end of March or a little later. And as we have more shipping expectations, we'll let you know through these Facebook Live postings. So let's start over here on Snow Village. I love this little display that Stefan did. This piece is called Sleigh Bells Hitching Post. And it's got a lot of cute detail. A little tin roof, the evergreens on the roof. You can even see the snow is coming off a little bit. And he's placed it on a little sled. I think he probably went to something like Michael's or Hobby Lobby and got the sled and the little actual sleigh bells. So what a cute little piece. There's also an accessory that goes with this that kind of matches with the trim, and it is a couple taking a sleigh ride. So the Sleigh Bells Hitching Post, great new piece for Snow Village. Okay, and then let's move down here just a little bit, Nate. And this one, some of you have probably seen this. Some of you probably already have this in your display. This is called Christmas in the Mansion. And it was an exclusive for Christmas Tree Hill out in Pennsylvania. And it is inspired by their main store, which is a mansion. It's an actual home that's been around for probably over 200 years. And it is all spruced up for Christmas. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more detail on that one later. But it's been a long time since we've done a real statement house like this for Snow Village, a nice big residential mansion. And of course there's a little accessory that goes with it and kind of another nod to Christmas Tree Hill. It's a couple buying their tree, and the tree is in a netting that you would get your tree in if you went to a local Christmas tree lot. Really cute piece. And just as long as we're right here, we'll show you. Here's the 2020 Santa Comes to Town. Very traditional looking piece, and we've been making these for over 20 years now. Very cute piece. We're going to move down, we're going to move up to the second level, Nate. I wanted to talk about these 3 pieces up here because there's been some talk on Facebook about the country living pieces. We have 3 pieces that will be labeled as country living inspired. This one here, let's see if I've got the names of them. We've got the Country Coffee Cafe, the Dewdrop, let me see if I get the name right here. Not Dewdrop, it is called, thought I had the names written down here. Morning Dew Cottage, and then this one is, and I apologize, I forgot the name of it. It's a barn. But Country Living has approached UNESCO, and of course, as part of UNESCO, we are going to be doing some items for Country Living magazine, and these are all inspired by the very, very popular decorating craze that's going on now of clean, country, modern country farmhouse look. You'll see if you watch HGTV, there's a number of shows where all the renovations that they do are, they call it country farmhouse or modern farmhouse. There are no accessories that have been made for these pieces so far, but I'm sure if you have some pieces from other Snow Village lines, you'll be able to use them there. Now these are from the Mistletoe Farm series and a couple of other little ones that we have that will work really well with them. But if you want to have them simple, if you look in our brochures, you'll see they simply have them on a shelf with some simple cutouts of trees and just a nice decorator item. You can use houses for decorator accents and not necessarily build a whole village out of them. But these are the three that we have done at the request of Country Living Magazine. And a little story that I heard from Rick Jackson yesterday when I was asking him about these pieces. He says, you know, things have kind of come full circle. When Scott Enter first started for Department 56 almost 30 years ago, he was asked to do an ad layout. That was part of his job back then. And when he was doing those ads, the very first one he ever did was for Country Living Magazine. So here we are back working with a standard magazine again. So I thought that was kind of neat. Okay, let's move on now. We are going to be moving over towards Christmas in the City. And as you see, as we move around, you'll see there's scooters in the background, but I'm going to talk to you more about scooters after we get done with our little holiday tour here. Christmas in the City on the lower level here, a very nice little vignette that Stefan has done for us. The first over here is the Harry Jacobs jeweler, and you can see in the window, if Nate can get a close-up of it, we've got some displays showing jewels and diamonds for sale at Harry Jacobs. And I asked Tom Bates about this piece. I said, where'd you get the name from? He said, well, there really isn't a Harry Jacobs Jewelers, but he was going on the popularity of using a man's first and last name as a trademark name, like Harry Winston or Marc Jacobs or things like that. So he liked the way Harry Jacobs sounded. Doesn't mean anything in particular. He thought it fit well together and works on this piece. Next little piece over here is a really cute piece with a really interesting window here. It's called the JT Hat Company. Love the window on it. Tom designed this one as well. And of course, the minute I saw it, I thought, JT Hats, are you a fan of Justin Timberlake? And he said, you know, I never even thought of that when I named it. But if you want it to be for Justin Timberlake, go right ahead. I'm sure that he wouldn't mind. And right down here on the end, and we'll talk about the middle one last, is a really neat new piece called the Model Railroad Shop. And as you can see on the second floor, we actually have a model railroad that goes around and just is spectacular. Little lighted clock over the door as they did back in the 30s and 40s. Very often business establishments had clocks like that. And of course ours is set at 5 to 6. In the center here is Tom's favorite piece. It's a piece he's been asking to do for a number of years. It's the Savoy Ballroom. And the Savoy actually is a place that existed in Harlem out in New York for a number of years. It was actually built in 1928, and it housed a dance floor that was 10,000 square feet. There could be up to 4,000 different dancers on the dance floor at one time. And you entered through the first level. There was a marble staircase, and you went up to the second level, and then this whole second level was the dance floor. And out front is an accessory that goes with it. It's called the Lindy Hop. Now, I've heard of the Lindy Hop. I don't think I could ever do it. I'm not much of a dancer. But the Lindy Hop was something that was quite popular, and Tom wanted to add this. He thought this was real indicative of the time. And I didn't know it until I looked it up, but the Lindy Hop was named for Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh did a hop from the U.S. across the Atlantic in 1927, and this was kind of a tribute to him, so they named it the Lindy Hop. And they're still doing it today, and I think there's dance contests all over the place for this type of dancing. Okay, now we'll go into Dickens Village here. And again, we will just strictly look at some of these new pieces here. We've got the St. Mary Le Bow Church, and this is still an exclusive piece for our platinum retailers. And this is one of the most historic and important churches after the St. Paul Cathedral in London. The original church was destroyed by the Great Fire of London, but then rebuilt by Sir Christopher Wren in 1683. And he's credited with rebuilding a number of churches, well over 50 in London. And it looks like it was built in pieces, and it probably was. There's a tradition about the bell tower that if you were born within earshot of hearing the bells in this tower, it meant that you were considered a true Cockney, which is a bragging right among the proud working people of East End London. Another story has it that while leaving London, Richard Whittington, also known as Dick Whittington, heard the bells and felt compelled to stay, and later he became Lord Mayor of London. The bells were destroyed during the German Blitz of World War II, and they were recast in 1956 and then rededicated and installed in 1961. So it's got a lot of history, and if you Google this church, you'll see a lot of information about it. So it's a very true representation of it, and Tom did a wonderful job on this piece. We also have over here, this is a gatehouse. This is the Mulberry Gatehouse, and a gatehouse, of course, has an opening here where the carriages would go underneath, and the patrons would then be under a covered area to exit and enter their carriages. So it was definitely something for the more well-to-do people. And a new sub-series in Dickens Village are the West India docks. And this is the dock and the boat that come together. And this is a really interesting, very well done set for us this year. And I love the accessory. Well, in the accessory, looks like it's missing something. And it is. It's missing. There's a piece of actual cloth that the two sailors are holding, and they're repairing the sail. So it's missing that. So we'll have to make sure we get that fixed. Now let's move down to North Pole. These pieces are all designed by Paul Lundberg. He's taken over North Pole completely, and I'm real excited about this right here. This is Gingerbread Street, and I think if I hear my rumblings correctly, that this will be a new sub-series, just like we have the Trick or Treat Lane, and we have other sub-series within villages, and the Gingerbread Street. The first one is Ginger's Cottage. And here's little Ginger over here in the accessory, and really cute little gingerbread trees, and a little bench that has little gingerbread people on each end. So very cute little set. So just by itself it would be cute. A lot of people put kind of food related pieces in their kitchen, and this would make a really cute little display. And I think Stefan probably got these at either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. That's a place where he shops quite a bit. So putting that all together looks really cute. Now we're going to come down to two pieces that I predict, and I told Paul this today when we were talking about them. These are going to be two of the best sellers this year. The first is Snowy's Diner. We've had diners in other villages. They've always done well, but Snowy's with a great big snowman on the front, I think he's spectacular. My very, very favorite piece. Oh, and Snowy's, by the way, has a lit sign. So it's attached to it, and it's lit from the inside. So that'll be a great addition to North Pole. Here is my all-time favorite piece for this year. This is called St. Nick's Sorting Center. There's lots going on here. You can see there's a wheel up here, and they're sorting gifts for good children around the world. And you can see on the clock or on this wheel, they've got gifts that are going around. But if you also look down here, the bag stuffer is stuffing the gifts that are already finished into Santa's bag that you can stuff and stuff and stuff, and there's never a bottom to it. That, I think, they did a wonderful job on the animation for that piece. And you can see the chimneys are rolls of wrapping paper. It's just, there's, every time you look at it, there's something more to see. Very cute piece. And then back here, Nate, if you want to zoom in and take a look at this spectacular Santa's Snowflake Palace, that is a great piece. And this is the new piece for this year. These acrylic LED light pieces were available last year. And the palace has the same kind of colored LED lighting that the acrylic pieces from last year had. And by itself, I think it'll make a fabulous standalone display. If you don't have anything else in North Pole and want to have a place that's appropriate for Santa, this is the piece. And here's Santa on his throne. You have this archway, the gate, the fencing. There are some ice sculptures that are also LED lit. And with silver and white trees, I think it makes just a spectacular display. Okay, now we're going to come back to my desk where you always see me. And I'm going to share a little information about what happened with scooters. Are we okay here, yeah. Nate? Okay. We got cords running all over the place. Before we get started with that, let me show you, we will have, probably by the end of the weekend or early next week, we will have brochures available. They're in. I moved them today. They're heavy. Yes, they are. The Village brochure and the Snow Babies brochure will still be $5 each online. You can place an order in our replacement parts area, and they will come to you in an envelope, so they'll be in very good order and no bent edges. So let's talk about these. Last year we introduced this piece. Can I say? Oh, okay. Called Scooter's Diner. It was to go with a piece that we'd had for years and years. In fact, the longest running piece we ever had in Snow Village that was called Shelley's Diner. Do I have my, what happened to my cord? Yeah, is there a power strip back here? Other side, this one down here. We gotta show you what these things look like lit. Okay, thank you. All right, here we go. We've got, I don't have Shelley's, the power cord for Shelley, but we had scooters last year. Shelley is Scott's wife, and a lot of you know this story. It was the most popular piece we had in Snow Village for years and years and years. A very traditional Art Deco styled diner. It has an interior scene. It has great Christmas decorations on it, everything you want in a diner. Well, it finally had to retire. The factory that was making it was going out of business. We couldn't get it made anymore. So Scott said, I'll do a new diner. And there's lots of different styles of diners out there. So he came up with this great design, and he named it Scooters. And if you don't know, Scooter was Scott's nickname when he was a little boy. So we've got Shelley's and we've got Scooters. And as you can see, Scooters was a nice looking piece. And after it came out and the sales reps saw it at the sales shows, they were a little puzzled. They said, I thought we were done with Harley Davidson. It's orange and black like Harley Davidson. Well, not really. It was an orange red, and wasn't exactly the color Scott had planned, but it was a little late. Production had already begun, and so it was in the line like this in 2019. Now, we couldn't just change the color without getting rid of the item number and this scooter. So it's the same mold, it's the same design, but the new scooters is the coloration that Scott had intended. And here it is. When Rick and I were talking about this yesterday, he said what Scott had in mind was more of a red and white candy cane look, which you can see when you get the two next to each other. This truly is more the coloration that goes better with the original Snow Village, and how much better it will go with Shelley's Diner. You know, sometimes car companies come out with cars, and the first year they come out with a lime green Corvair, and nobody likes it, so they don't sell too many of them. We're hoping that the new coloration is something that will allow us to keep Scooter's Diner with this really neat rotating sign and lit from the bottom. We hope this is something that will be in your display for a long, long period of time. It also has a really good interior scene, just like Shelley's does, and it has the really nice Christmas decorations on it like Shelley's does. So they would be really nice companion pieces in your display. The only other piece I wanted to show you a little bit more about was the Christmas at the Mansion, because there is some extra LED lighting that is special for this one. Thanks, Nate. And I wanted to point that out. It is a beautiful classic revival house, but what's really neat about it are the lights that are in each window. And it's very traditional in New England especially to put a candle in the window, and that's to welcome your guests. And this house has candles in the windows, in the front windows of every window in this house. And it truly is a beautiful piece. So that's a little more of the story about the Christmas at the Mansion. Next time we'll do New England, we'll do Alpine Village, we'll do Halloween, and of course we still have all of the licensed pieces to talk about in future Facebook Lives. We've got Harry Potter, we've got Snoopy, we've got Grinch, we've got A Christmas Story, so there's lots more to come. We didn't want to overwhelm you too much today. We'll take you on another little tour next time. And if you've got questions, please feel free to write and ask us questions. Again, I want to thank everyone for your interest in our Facebook Live. We had so many comments when we did our hacks before Christmas. That was extremely well received. And I've had several really good ideas, and once we get those kind of in our mind and come up with a couple more contests, we certainly will do that, because we'd like you all to participate in those as well. We've had people ask about Halloween, we've had people ask about spring ideas, and we've had people ask about storage ideas. So all of those I think are very viable and things that we will try to come up with contests for a little bit later this spring. In the meantime, take care.